Welcome, friends. I'm Yvonne Davis. I'm an author, astrologer, and life transformation coach. And boy, we're really moving into the thick of it now. It's Saturday, January 4th, and I thought I was going to have more time, but then I looked at the calendar and I realized the lunar eclipse is within a week. So I thought I better just get this done. I need to get this lunar eclipse video out. Plus, as we all knew, because of the eclipse and the Saturn-Pluto conjunction 2 days after the eclipse, we knew that times were going to be a-changing. And even though we hoped it would be all for the good, you know, when it comes to Pluto and Saturn and the South Node and eclipses, well, eclipses can bring good change too. And the South Node can bring good relief too. And I don't even want to badmouth Pluto and Saturn. It's not themselves that bring the trouble. It's the fact that they push us. They push us to the edge of the cliff, and it's a massive, massive wake-up call for consciousness. Okay, and you know, we may have thought a looming impeachment was bad enough, and now here we see that Iran is burning the American flag, and it's getting a little tense. So let's talk about the full moon eclipse and talk about waking up our own consciousness in this environment of world events. Okay. So just really quickly, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, like this video, share with friends and family and on social media, and please leave your comments. And I know I say that all the time, but believe me, it makes a difference, and it helps so much for me to be able to build my channel, because you know, it's like I give as much of myself as I can. I give my knowledge, my intuition. This is my calling. It's my passion, and I want to give all of this to you. But I also need help building my channel. Okay, so I'm not just like my voice going off into the ether. You know, I want it to reach people. And YouTube always looks for engagement. So if you're engaged, please let me know. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I'm also longing for the dialogue. Believe me, it makes a huge, huge difference to me when I'm not just speaking to a camera. When you speak back to me, then I know I'm talking to someone, a real person, and that matters to me. So let's get this conversation and dialogue going, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the chart so that we can have a look at that. Okay, so here we are, January full moon eclipse, January 10th, 2020. It's going to be around noon, depending on where you are in the world. And this eclipse has so much going on in it. I don't even know where to begin. I just made three videos in a multi-part series on how to work with this Capricornian energy. And believe me, you know, I'm going to do another video about what's happening politically that's just focused on that. This is more of a general reading for the lunar eclipse, but I didn't want to just leave out, you know, the massive events that are also being stirred up, because it's so much a part of this eclipse and these alignments. But the important thing to understand is, you know, I feel torn, because I know people are longing for a sense of safety and security in these tumultuous times, and I want to do the best I can. The way I do this myself personally is when I look at the charts and I say, okay, there will be justice. The universe isn't just out to get us, okay? It's all about karma and justice, and I have faith in that, and that is what gives me a sense of safety and security, in spite of the fact that difficult things will happen. So, but the most important thing to understand is that nothing I say can ever make you feel safe, because one, it's not my job, and I'm just here to share the knowledge that I have about what astrology teaches us. I can't make anybody feel safe. This is a wake-up call for all of us. That's what's important. Not whether or not, you know, I did predict Trump's impeachment, and although the trial has not been set yet, he was impeached. So that is a fait accompli. We still have ahead of us the trial, and after the trial there will be a vote in the Senate, and I've never once been willing to predict that Trump will either resign or be removed from office, because I don't I don't want to mix my own fantasies and my own hopes and wishes into my predictions, because all that will end up doing is removing my credibility, you know. And I'm not saying that it won't happen either. So let me be very clear. I'm just simply not willing to make predictions about him resigning or being removed, because my intuition isn't telling me that's going to happen. That doesn't mean it won't happen. I'm just saying that when I make a prediction, it's because my intuition is screaming it in my head. And I have such clarity about what's going to happen that sometimes it just pops out of my mouth. I don't even make a decision about it. But I don't say those things unless I have an absolute knowing, and I trust that knowing. Other times it's just wishful thinking, and I'm not willing to make predictions based on just wishful thinking. So I think we will, I guess let me say this. It's my opinion. It's not my prediction, but it's my opinion that Trump will still be the Republican candidate for president, and he will be on the ballot in November. And the way we need to remove him from office is through the vote. And all of us need to get out and vote. And that's all there is to it. But we also have the question is what are the next 10 months going to look like? Well, we've already made it through 3 years, and we will make it. I have no fear, absolutely no fear about like a bomb landing on the United States. No, I have no fear about that. So so I hope that you'll trust it, because I do trust my intuition, you know, and I try to speak the truth from that place of intuition. I trust that inner voice. I trust my guides, and I'm not worried about it. So I'm not saying that nothing bad can happen, because this is a wake-up call. I'm just saying that there's nothing in me that's trembling at all, you know. I'm perfectly calm. And part of the reason is because I'm a political scientist, and I have, well, I'm not a political scientist by profession. I'm a political scientist by education. I have my BA in political science and economics with minors in history and international studies. And then I went on for a master's degree in economics. So that was very much in the forefront of my mind. In fact, I originally thought that I would work for the Foreign Service, that I would actually work in the State Department. And, you know, I had internships with various people, various politicians and such. So I'm very familiar with this, okay? I mean, that's where my head was at for a very, very long time. And you know what? Why I'm a astrologer now, and why I'm a life coach now, why I decided to write books about expanding consciousness, and why I've dedicated my life to it, is because I learned something from all those years of having my head stuck in the in that hornet's nest of politics and world events. What I learned is nothing changes out there. Nothing changes out there. That may be hard to believe, but let me tell you, if you watch it day in and day out, if it's your whole life, that's all you focus on, you start to see the patterns, and they just repeat themselves over and over and over again. All that changes are the names, dates, and locations. I remember being 12 years old, standing in a classroom, hearing about the tension in the Middle East and fearing the end of the world. And, you know, decades have passed since I was 12 years old. And I learned because I watched it repeat itself over and over and over again. And the world did not come to an end. The world has not come to an end. We are all still here. We're all still watching the same play on the stage. And I'm not trembling because I've seen it too many times. Okay, so I don't know if you can trust my, you know, like I said, I don't know if you can trust what I have to say. I'm just telling you that I'm not going to get all my panties in a wad over it. So I hope you won't either. And I'm saying that in the face. Look, we're looking at this eclipse on the chart right now. The sun at 20 degrees of Capricorn up there. The moon at 20 degrees. The full moon at 20 degrees of Cancer. In opposition to this massive conjunction in Capricorn of these heavy hitters. And yet I'm not worried. I'm not scared. So I think when I say it's a wake-up call, what I'm trying to say is we have to change our consciousness. It's not about coming on YouTube and watching videos of astrologers and psychics and tarot readers and whatnot telling you all is going to be well, and then you go and you're able to sleep at night. I know it helps. I do, because I watch this stuff too, and and that's why I became an astrologer, is because I wanted to know what was coming. I was afraid of the future, and astrology helped me. For a while, it also hindered me. I also had fear. I looked ahead and I said, oh my gosh, I better be scared. But you know what? Every day, for all these years, not going to say how old I am, but for all these years, I keep waking up. I'm still there. I'm still here. And yeah, and I put myself at risk too, you know. I just got back from a trip to Central America and Nicaragua. And I've been to Morocco, and I've been to, well, that's probably, those were the most challenging experiences, Nicaragua and Morocco. You know, I've lived under the stars. I have quit jobs in the middle of recessions, you know, so I take risks, but I think that to me is what's important, is facing our fears, not trying to find a salve, but rather finding the strength within ourselves to have courage. So again, if you want to know how to work with the Saturn, or I should say Capricorn energy, and of course, you know, that's the lunar eclipse. I'm sorry, the solar eclipse. I get the two mixed up. That's why I always just say full moon eclipse. Saturn and Pluto conjunct. It's big, 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 big energy. And it's a huge, huge wake-up call. And that's the message I want to get through in this video more than anything else, because we've been talking about this for a long time. Astrologers have been waiting for this moment for years. And now it's within the week. And the message I want to get across more than any other is this is not about getting scared, though you may feel fear, but that's not what it's about. It's not about getting scared. It's not about getting angry, though you may feel angry. That's not what it's about. It's about facing your fears. Because underneath anger is fear. And because you're afraid that something that we value, which may be our lives, our sense of safety, our sense of security, we fear it's at risk and we're angry. But the point is, there will always be something out there to cause us to feel fear, to cause us to feel anger, to get us triggered. There will always be something. The wake-up call, it's like spirit knocks us on the head. And it gives us 3 knocks. The first knock says, knock, knock, wake up. And you don't wake up. The second one says, knock, knock, wake up. And you still don't wake up. The third one says, wake up! And smash you on the head with a sledgehammer. And it's not about saying, why did the universe do this to me? Why is this happening? It's always going to happen. There's always going to be something out there. There will never be a moment. Well, there is a moment every once in a while where you just feel totally at peace. Everything's right. But eventually something will come along again to stir up that fear and that anger. And to point fingers and to say it's their fault. Can't you see? Obviously it's their fault. Look at what they're doing. But the universe doesn't work that way. And I don't know how many times I can say that. Maybe I haven't said it enough, or maybe I haven't said it at all. I don't know. But that's the message that's been wanting to come through. And the way I hear it in my head is how many times do we have to say this? When are you finally going to get it? It's not about what's happening out there. It's about what's happening inside. Are you connecting with love in your heart? Are you healing yourself? Are you finding compassion and peace within yourself? That's what I found in myself. That's why I'm not scared. I know that there's literally nothing to be afraid of, even death. I'm not afraid of death. So, to me, the most exciting thing is consciousness expansion. And that's what this is about. And eclipses bring it because they bring change, especially full moon eclipses. You know, astrologers always say eclipses are lunations with 3 times the power, and that is true. But from my experience over the years watching eclipses unfold, I found that while it's true that new moon eclipses are powerful, it's the full moon eclipses that you really feel. And so that's what we're moving into, is a full moon eclipse. And what I mean by feel it is and maybe that's because the moon is full, and the moon represents our emotions and our subconscious, our emotions. So that's why we feel it. And because it also represents the subconscious and illumination, it will all often bring something into illumination, a revelation, an awareness, a kind of awakening. And that is the word that really comes to mind more than anything else. Awakening. That's actually what the word apocalypse means. Most people don't know that. They think apocalypse means the, you know, the end of the world, or they equate it with Armageddon, but it actually doesn't mean that. Apocalypse literally means awakening. That's what this is. It's an awakening, and an awakening is a beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful. This is an awakening. That full moon is awakening us. Listen to what it has to say. And where it wants to take you. So again, while I can't ignore what's happening in the world, because it is a big deal and it is part of this, the message here is, what do you want to do with your life? So I think I'll go ahead and bring this back, because I don't really think I need to talk about, you know, the other alignments, maybe a little bit. The fact that Neptune is in a favorable sextile to this conjunction in Capricorn, and a favorable trine to the moon. So that's really good. It will bring compassion. And Uranus is also in a favorable trine, which is super, super important, because, you know, having looked back, being both a historian and an astrologer, having looked back at the history and the alignments at that time, the fact that Uranus is trining this event, it makes all the difference in the world, believe me. It will make all the difference in the world. If it were at a square, conjunction, or opposition, then I would be concerned about world war. But the fact that it's a trine means that while it does bring disruption and chaos, it's like it stirs things up. So think of it, an image that just came into my mind was like a rug that has been lying on the floor for a long time. And, you know, it's got a lot of dirt and dust on it. Uranus will first yank the rug out from under you, shake it all up, get all the dust in the air, and keep snapping that rug until it's completely free of dust and debris and dirt and all that. And then the rug will settle back down on the floor, and it'll be clean and smooth and beautiful. And we'll have a much better foundation from which to grow and create and continue expanding our consciousness. It's the breakdown before the breakthrough. That's the role that Uranus plays. But there's a big, big difference between shaking things up and causing a bit of disruption on the one hand, and full-on world war. There's a massive difference. So let's keep things in perspective, okay? With the Uranus trine, it's really not going to be that bad. We'll be fine. So I think that's pretty much it. I think one more thing I would like to say, because I'm going to make some more videos, is I'm going to make a video about Mars in Sagittarius, and because that energy is super potent. And also Uranus is going direct at the time of the full moon. We don't see it right here yet because it happens after. So this is the exact moment of the full moon, and then Uranus happens later in the same day. So that's super powerful too. And so I want to make 3 more videos. One about Mars in Sagittarius and what that energy can do for us. 2, well, which is pretty much in combination with Uranus going direct, that it's the energy right now is super potent. And a video on all the planets going direct. They'll be direct for 4 months, except a 3-month, I mean a short 3-week period where Mercury goes retrograde during that 4 months. But the 4 months of all direct is going to be super powerful for getting things done. So I want to do a video specifically on that. And then also do a video that is more specifically on what's happening on the world stage and in our nation and politics and all of that. So hopefully this was helpful. I always have mixed feelings. On one hand, wanting to tell my subscribers all the things they long to hear. I hope I did. I hope I let you know that, I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not worried about it. I've seen many, many, many things. And I would say in my own lifetime, 9/11 was the worst. And we got through it. And it's not going to be that bad. What we're facing between now and November it's not going to be that bad. Yeah, it's chaotic, it's frustrating, it's annoying, it's irritating, but sometimes even enraging. But believe me, when you lay that against things that have happened in the past, some that we know of, like 9/11, and some that we don't know of, this is nothing. In fact, the upside is the fact that we do know so much about what's going on behind the scenes, because a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes that we never know about. And so you think it's bad, but that's only because we know about it. There's tons of stuff that's happened that's been as bad or worse that we never knew about. And it was happening, and we lived through it. We'll live through this too. So again, the most important thing is to focus on your own consciousness, expanding your consciousness, this massive wake-up call. If you're challenged with it, because eclipses themselves can be challenging. The South Node can sometimes be challenging. And fortunately, the full moon is actually on the side of the North Node. So more of the power is given to the North Node because the full moon is on the side of the North Node. So that's good. That's the direction of our evolution, rather than what we need to release. But Pluto and Saturn transits can be very difficult. I'll just tell you really quickly, because I did do three videos. I don't want to say 3-part videos, because I may add more to that as more bubbles up in my intuition that I think I need to share with you. Go and watch those videos, because they're way more important than the political videos. They will tell you how to deal with this energy on a personal level. And that's what we need, is to get to a permanent sense of tranquility and equanimity. And nothing outside us will ever give us that. We have to get that from within. That's why consciousness expansion is so important. That's why listening to the wake-up calls is so important. They're for us more than anything else. What's happening externally is just a show on the stage, meant to distract us mostly, but hopefully also to cause us to wake up. So I want to share something personal, because I didn't share it in any of those videos, and I want to let you know that I know about Pluto and Saturn transits because, one, I've already had my first Saturn return. Have not yet reached my second Saturn return, but I've had my first one. I've also experienced Pluto transiting my sun, and that nearly killed me. Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm not saying I don't believe I ever would have committed suicide, but it crossed my mind. And I can just say 2 things. One, that I don't think I'm the kind of person who could ever do that. And 2, I had a 4-year-old daughter. So there's no way I was going to leave her motherless, no matter how, I mean, I was pretty much dysfunctional. I mean, like, completely. But at the same time, I thought a broken mother is better than no mother. At least that's what I believed. And I couldn't leave her. So I made it through. And Pluto crossed my sun many times. And like I said, it nearly killed me. But the point is, then when it went into, because I'm Sagittarius sun, when it went into Capricorn, when a planet like Pluto changes signs, it will cause serious events to take place. So when it reaches Aquarius in 2023, and it will come back into Capricorn, it will retrograde over that sign. We'll see a lot of stuff happening too, where that's concerned, and also the fact that it will transit the natal Pluto of the United States. So we do have some challenging times coming, but I'm not expecting something like, I'm not expecting World War. I'm not expecting a civil war. It may be tough, you know. The civil rights movement in the 60s was pretty tough. So, you know, that's about as harsh as I think it'll get. So, so we can handle it. And so, you know, just from my own personal experience, the transit over my sun was very difficult, and it went back and forth over my sun. And then when it changed signs to Capricorn, that was really difficult. And, oh yeah. And then what was interesting is after I got through all of those Pluto transits, when it opposed my ascendant, because my ascendant is in Cancer, when it opposed my ascendant, because my ascendant was in Cancer and Pluto was in Capricorn, it opposed it 3 times because it went retrograde over that degree. And I was a different person by then. Man, I said, bring it on. And I had fun with it. You know, it was like I was a cowgirl out there on my horse, roping cattle and stuff like that. I was a mountain climber. You know, I just said, you give it to me and I will take it. No problem. I was a completely different person. So I think sometimes it's a little hard for me. You know, I want to be empathetic to people who are really struggling right now with these transits. But I know that when you get to the other side of them, you are absolutely a completely different person. And if you don't believe me, please go watch those other videos I made. You know, make a choice for yourself. Now, some people, when they get to this point in the video, or they may have you know, just like stopped this video, moved on, even before getting to this point, because I'm not giving them the answers that they want. They want to hear me say Trump's going to be removed from office, or he's going to resign, or he's going to die. That's what they want to hear. And that he definitely will not get elected in November. That's what they want to hear. And like I said, I'll make predictions when it's screaming in my head, and I know I just have this absolute knowing, but I won't if I don't feel that. Doesn't mean it can't happen. I'm just saying it's not, I don't hear that screaming in my head that says, this is true, this is true, this is true. And so a lot of people come to my channel and that's all they want to hear. And if they don't hear it and they realize I'm not going to say it, they'll just, you know, cut out this video. I know that because I have analytics. I can see, you know, how many people stayed through the whole video, how many people left, when they left. And so I know that, oh, they realize she's not going to say what I want to hear. I'm going to go find another person, another astrologer, psychic, or tarot reader who will say what I want to hear. And there are plenty of them out there. And if I wanted to have a much bigger, more successful channel, I would do that too. But I have too much integrity to lie to people or just tell them what they want to hear. Like, here, have a drink. You'll feel so much better. That's all it is. It's just you know, intoxicate yourself with what you want to hear, zone out, knock yourself out, escape from reality. You'll feel so much better. But what about the hangover? So anyway, if you're still with me, great. What that says to me is that you're actually interested in the real work of consciousness expansion. And to me, that's what astrology is about. And that's what these alignments right now are about. That's what this full moon eclipse is about. That's what the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is about. It says, wake up. Expand your consciousness. Pull back from the distractions on the stage. Find out what really matters. The here and now. The here and now is what matters. All right, so I hope you stuck with me. If you are challenged with what's happening in the world or with your own personal transits, go watch those videos. And if you have any questions, please, please, please feel free to leave a comment, and I will respond to you. And also, you know, if you want a personal reading, click on the link in the description box below. So I sure hope this was helpful. I did the best I could to speak truth. And I appreciate all of you here today. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.